Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Stoney Acres Gardening. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 different types of lettuce that you can grow in your garden, which are leaf lettuce, Buttercrunch lettuce, Romain lettuce, and Iceberg lettuces. And we're going to go through and talk about each of those, and I'm going to tell you why I think you should only be growing 3 of them. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Now before we get started, please make sure you get subscribed to my channel, click that notification bell so you get noticed every time I release new videos. And make sure that you stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to talk to you about a free trial offer that we have going on right now with the Gardening Academy. We'd love to have you join in on that. Okay, so let's get started talking about those lettuces. The first lettuce that you can grow in your garden is a leaf lettuce. So leaf lettuces are by far the easiest lettuces to grow. If you're just starting out growing lettuce, I'm definitely going to recommend that you start with a leaf lettuce. Leaf lettuces have a nice open growth habit. They grow very, very quickly. Leaf lettuces can be ready at the baby stage in as little as like 20-25 days and can be full grown in as little as 35 to 40 days. They're very quick to grow and they come in a wide variety of colors and textures. We've got pale greens and dark greens and reds and purples and speckled, just a ton of different leafy greens that you can grow, those leaf lettuces. Another reason why I really like leaf lettuce is because it has what we call a cut and come again growth habit, which means once the lettuce plants get to be about 4 or 5 inches tall, you can actually go in and harvest the entire plant, cut it down to about 1 inch to 1.5 inches tall, and those lettuce plants will regrow again. And you can come back and do that 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times through the season. And we call that cut and come again. And it makes it very nice to be able to do one planting and then have several different harvests of that leafy green. So great for leaf lettuce. Our favorite variety of leaf lettuce to grow is called black-seeded Simpson. We also have another one that we call Larry's Red. It's actually a local variety that we have saved the seeds for ourselves, and it's just a beautiful dark purple variety. And so both of those are varieties that we love and recommend. Next on our list are what we call Buttercrunch lettuces. So these are by far my favorite lettuce to grow. A Buttercrunch lettuce actually is sometimes called a bib lettuce as well, B-I-B-B, and bib lettuces have this really nice open structure. They do form a head, but it's very open and loose, and they're kind of the best of both worlds in my opinion, because we have this nice leafy plant, usually a very dark green, but it also has some crunch to it. So down at the base, those Buttercrunch lettuces have a stockiness to them. So we get kind of the combination of leafy greens and that stocky, crunchy lettuce as well. And so I really love these. They grow really well. They're usually ready in about 45 days. They're pretty easy to grow. Not a lot of extra things that you need to do to them. Just plant them and get them going and give them plenty of water and they're gonna do just great. So our favorite variety of Buttercrunch lettuce is actually called Buttercrunch, and you can find that variety in, most seed companies are going to carry that, and you should be able to do that. Another one that we really like is called Nevada. That's a Buttercrunch as well that actually is also a summer crisp that you can grow in the summertime. So Buttercrunches are just a great one for you to grow, really easy to take care of and just to grow overall. Third on our list is the Romain lettuces. Romains are also sometimes called Cos lettuces, C-O-S, Cos lettuces. Romains are the lettuces that you would traditionally expect to see in like a Caesar salad. So they have a nice leafiness to them, but they also have a very thick, crunchy, juicy stalk to them as well. So Romains are probably a little bit more difficult to grow. I'm not saying that beginners can't grow them because they're not that hard to grow, but they are a little bit more difficult than some of the others. They take a little bit longer. We're usually looking more 50 to 55 days for those to mature. They do grow taller, so we get about 12 inches on those, but just a super nice one to grow, pretty easy overall to get going in your garden. Lots of different varieties out there for you to grow with different colors as well. Our favorite variety of Cos lettuce to grow is called Paris Island Cos. And we really like that one. It's a nice dark leafy green with a good stalk, but not overly rich on the stalk side. So kind of a good mix there, and we really like that one. So that is your romaines or your Cos lettuces. And last on your list are your iceberg lettuces. Now, iceberg lettuces are the lettuces that you would normally see in a grocery store. So they come in a pretty tight, compact head and are kind of a pale green leaf, okay? Those are the most difficult of the lettuces to grow in a home garden. And the reason why is because they form that head, they take a lot longer to grow. So we are usually looking at closer to 75 to 90 days for most varieties of iceberg lettuces to actually form a head. And iceberg lettuces are also very picky. They like very steady, unchanging weather, cool weather. And so for a lot of us, it's really hard to grow iceberg lettuces because we just really don't have 90 days of cool, steady weather. They don't like extremes. They don't like heat. They don't like cold. They don't like wind. And so they're really quite picky to grow. And then on top of that, you've got 90 days where you have to try and protect those plants from pests. And so my personal opinion, and this might be a little bit controversial for some of you, is that you shouldn't, as a home gardener, you just really shouldn't bother growing iceberg lettuces. Leave that to the grocery store people. If you study agriculture at all, you'll know that most iceberg lettuces are grown in areas of the country where temperatures are very steady for a long time. So southern and central California, some parts of Arizona where they have these long extended periods of relatively cool weather that will allow those plants to grow. And so for us as home gardeners, they're really tough to grow. Now, the other reason why I think you shouldn't bother growing iceberg lettuce in your home garden is because honestly, it's crap, okay? Compared to all of the other yummy, dark leafy, crunchy purples, all of these other varieties of lettuce that you can grow, why would you grow this watery, pale, white, almost green, lettuce when there's so many more lettuces that you can grow? So personally, I think that you should not bother growing iceberg lettuce in your garden. You should skip that one and do the leaf lettuces, the romaines, and the buttercrunches instead, because you're going to have much more success and they're better lettuces anyway. So that's what I think. Let me know in the comments what you think of my opinion on that. Now, before we go, I did want to talk just really quickly about planting your lettuce as well. So lettuce can be planted one of two ways. You can either direct seed it or direct sow it in your garden. And that's a pretty easy thing to do. Lettuce is very successful grown that way. You're just gonna put it out in the garden, put it in a row, cover it up with about 1/4 of an inch of soil, make sure that you water it really well. It's gonna take off and just do amazing. And so it's really easy to direct sow lettuce out in your garden. And so there's no reason why you can't be very successful doing that. Or you can also do transplants. So I have some transplants here. This is actually our favorite. These are Buttercrunch that we have been growing inside. These are about 4 weeks old. The reason why I like to do transplants, and I don't exclusively do transplants, but the reason why I like transplants is because I'm always happier with the finished product, if that makes sense. So I love the fact that I'm able to just have one plant in each of these cells. That way when I transplant them out, I get the spacing right. I don't have to worry about thinning. And ultimately, I get a prettier, happier, healthier plant from transplants. So I love to do transplants. We usually are starting some new lettuce seedlings about every 3 weeks, kind of throughout the growing season, and again in the fall as well. And so this is a great way to do it as well. And they transplant well, they respond to transplanting, and so you can do that as well. It's also a way to kind of cheat the seasons a little bit and give yourself some more space. So transplanting is also another awesome option for getting your seedlings planted. Now, before we go, I did want to take just a quick minute to talk to you about the Gardening Academy. Right now we have a 14-day free trial going on. And what is the Gardening Academy? The Gardening Academy is our monthly membership service where I grow great gardeners. I teach you how to grow gardens and how to be more successful in your backyard garden. We have over 40 different video courses, monthly planting guides, monthly Q&A sessions, expert interviews, all kinds of great things that are going to give you an opportunity to become a better gardener, all for one low monthly price. And right now we're offering a 14-day free trial so that you can kick the tires and see what you think about it. So there's a link down in the description of this video that you can click on to go check that out. That's all I have for you for this week. Make sure you get subscribed to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of the great content that we have coming up. And have a great week. Happy gardening.